Hello everyone, welcome. So, few months ago I created an article about stress management in projects, but unfortunately not a lot of people have had the chance to take a look at it. So I thought to myself, if the mountain does not go to Mohammed will come to the mountain. So here we are, here I am, here you guys are. We're going to cycle back and see it once again, so it's engraved into your mind. So, fantastic stresses and where to find them. We were going to talk this through so you guys can finally learn something about this knowledge. So first of all, funny images at the top of right corner to keep you focused. If something is going to be too gibberish or not really to your liking, you can always find some kind of relief in the top right corner of the presentation. But let's go to the hard part. So work is hard. The thing is, multiple factors are affecting our work. This is high quality types of jobs we are performing, so we should tweak our processes, but when we tweak it, it's to the point that we are facing a limitation of technology, right? And the trends in the 2010s are full of cutting-edge work frameworks that are going to optimize your work to the very point of being perfect, but they decrease the risk of failure to an acceptable minimum. Everything is top-notch. You don't have to think at all. You just have to code, right? But the thing is that the common problem in the sector, or even the global economy, who knows, is that people are not tweaked, cannot be tweaked. They're still people. It's hard enough to manage inanimate objects, let alone living and sentient beings with unique mindsets like me or yourself, right? A bug to get you relieved a little bit. All right, so let's follow through. There are multiple factors that influence the outcome of our work. It's budget, time, quality that has to be maintained, scope, so on, tools, people, government, barbecue parties, UFO attack, stuff like that. Someone played SimCity, you know what can happen, right? Why I'm addressing that? So employing best methodologies and software is only half the battle, because even if you have top-notch and Gucci tire stuff, there is still a reality where most of the problems one can encounter during project management are not related to tools, but it's people and their interactions who are making things difficult. All of you know what I'm talking about. The interactions suck. If you as a project member or a stakeholder acknowledge existence of the stress as a factor, you can proceed managing it, blah blah blah, making sure, pull their hair out. So basically, Gucci tire bling blings is one part of the battle. The second thing, we need to manage people that usually suck. Okay, another image to keep you relieved. Paper presented on PMI Global Congress states that 32% of failed projects are rooting in problems caused by people. There is a source underneath if you want to revisit this presentation someday, which I quite encourage. And how is that? It's all because of the stress, right? Okay, so stress, what is it? Stress is a physical, mental, or emotional factor that causes tension in the body, so it's rather physical. Once under stress, your glands, and here you can see also the Polish equivalent, because there will be a lot of methodology words introduced. So your glands are injecting your blood system with a lovely cocktail of adrenaline, noradrenaline, and dopamine. What happens after is pure magic, so you get an absolute stress cocktail for $5. What happens, and then there's a dog here for relief. If someone knows the name of this type of dog, please let me know. So what happens when there is a stress introduced? So it depends on a dose of the cocktail you are to drink. So if you're going to drink a small cocktail, what happens? Bronchospasm and increased heart capacity. When you order a medium stress cocktail, quicker heart beating, tunnel vision, and the stare. And big doses, it's bladder muscle relaxation, so you literally shit yourself from stress. Yeah. So of course there is so much more going in the organism. This dog is called Collie, so together it's a broccoli, right? very bad. Anyways, stress triad and why it's all the dangerous. Long-term exposure to stress will cause following medical conditions: congestion of the organs and adrenal hyperplasia, trapping thymus, intestinal ulceration, blah blah blah. And then after some time, so long-term, stomach ulcers, high blood pressure, heart respiratory diseases, nervous disorders. So all the bad shit, you need to cure yourself and stand in the very long queues at the doctor's office and talk to very not interesting people waiting there in the corridor to get finally admitted to the doctor's room. And when doctor will see you now, you'll probably be dead, so it's not worth it. He himself tells us so. So I see that the tension is a little bit too low and you guys are not really interested in my presentation. So from now on, this presentation is sponsored by the reclaimer from Doom. Anyways, stress is not worth it. First, you must accept that as an individual you are under influence of stress. Then you realize by reducing stress you work and function better, and then at the end of it you learn to control and adjust your mood as you want. So accept, fight, control. This is what you guys will try to do in the nearest future after this presentation, after you acquire this knowledge. So as you see the stress scale and the reclaimer on it, it goes from 0 to 10, and to be honest, you don't want to be where it doesn't hurt, and it's really an unfavorable position to be in that doesn't hurt anymore at the 10. Where you want to be is somewhere where now we're talking. And it might sound mysterious at first, but we'll get back to it. Key points so far to keep your focus. Again, stress affects your effectiveness at work and beyond, your health, the quality of life, so the goal is to get rid of it fully. What happens with your head when you get really stressed? So organism wants you to end the situation ASAP, meaning solving the problem or getting out. Both would do the trick. So if I'm in the meeting on a very stressful situation, client is causing me to get stressed, I really would appreciate if we solve the situation, but getting out of the door and going home also does the trick for me, and also for you. Emotional reactions to the situation, focus reduction, and multitasking is gone. So you get, you are starting to behave like a crying baby. You cannot focus, just like you cannot right now on my presentation. And the multitasking is gone, so you can only focus on a single thing at hand. Then, analytical skills perish completely, decision making is gone, manual skills are reduced, and teamwork totally gone. This is why when you become a Marine in the United States of America's naval division, you get shouted at a lot because they are trying to reduce you to very primitive instincts and then code new behaviors onto it, so you act well under stress. This is why it's so. When does it happen? The stress happens all the time. When you are at work and all you think is doom. Unrealistic deadlines, unspecified expectations in the work, hard-going work colleagues versus your efficiency, unexpected turmoils, personal life events, food delivery guys late again, no coffee or water on the office, government introduces another tax. All those events are affecting your stress. Maybe you will not show it, maybe you're not feeling it, but deep inside in your veins, the stress cocktail has just been served, and it's probably not the small portion, it's probably the bigger one. Try to avoid it. Don't be literally too angry to die. Don't get too stressed. Now I will switch to my Georgian accent. Few years ago, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, which is a Georgian researcher in stress, he has created a model of flow as related to the challenges and ability. As you can see, we want to be right here in the top right corner when the abilities of yours are high and the challenge is also high. So your abilities to solve the problem are big, and the challenge is challenging enough for you to get interested in it. Isn't that so? Yes. Getting back, you want to be in the state of the flow where you are focused and happy. All the deviations from it are removing you from the point of your maximum efficiency. So let's talk it through. Do you guys can imagine situations when you are not in the flow but in those states mentioned? Anyone can bring me up some kind of an example? Or should it be me to give one? No, it would be too easy. Can someone think of one? All right, thanks for being so interactive. So, once again, can you name, these are the states in where you can find yourselves in. Is there any situation that comes to your mind when thinking of it in a work-related environment? Apathy, boredom, relaxation, which one do you choose?
Apathy.
Okay, so apathy, where you are sad and depressed, it means that the challenge is really low, so the work has no priority at all, no one cares about it. And the problem is that even though no one cares about it, you lack the ability to solve the problem. So let's say there is a gem to be updated or a gem to be updated in the code base, but no one cares about it. But the problem is it can't get updated because it throws out the error you do not understand. So you are in a very depressed situation. Not gonna call out any names, but I think this apathy, sadness and depression might be quite popular in some places, but where are those in this place? Well, you guys have to figure it out for yourself. All right, so just for comparison, the anxiety takes place when the challenge is quite high, but the abilities to solve it are low. So for example, production went south or sideways or just completely flopped and you don't know why and you don't know how to bring it back to living. So this is when you are very anxious, stressed and alert and you don't want to be there. Let's follow through. This is a graph that will show you some a peak performance in relation to level of stress. So let's introduce two new terms, eustress and distress. Distress is when you are overstimulated, overwhelmed, and starting to shit yourself. Eustress is when you are understimulated, bored, and therefore not willing to work efficiently because the work is boring. So where you want to be is to be optimally stimulated right here. So you are not in the eustress and not in distress. You want to be at the peak of your performance. Key points so far, to just quickly roll up what we know. Stress might be positive if it transmits you to a desired state of focus and productivity, or positive if it makes you mindless and reduced to primal instincts. You can manage stress to get out from distress and get into the flow zone. How to decrease stress? So finally, some kind of a takeaway for those who stopped being patient and mindful at the stage of the broccoli dog. So a paper in Brisbane University of Technology can clear some things up. Survey conducted among project managers, different sectors show that there are around 15 different strategies how to cope with stress, and some of them are considered effective, some are not. According to surveys, there is a link and source somewhere there below. Let's take a look. So this is it. Coping strategies used and the outcome of them. As you can see, social support, communication, anonymous, blah, blah, blah. Anyone knows what social support in this manner is? It's when you ask someone to hold your hand. So, as you can see, most of the PMs across the globe are saying that the most positive outcomes gives the social support strategy and communication right after, and maybe adding resources. So what does it mean? The best way to cope with someone and just get relieved just by explaining the situation and letting the other person know how do you feel about it. Second, communication. So find someone who knows the answer to a problem. And the third one, ask for more people to solve the problem so you're not on your own in this shithole of a situation. Let's follow. One more thing, it is interesting. As you can see, eating and alcohol are not being perceived as valid and purposeful strategies. You can think about it for a while, or not.
It's only statistics.
It's only statistics, of course. Another approach, Stephen Franz from PMI, which stands for Project Management Institute, says that it'd be best if you chosen your method of coping with stress according to your personality traits from Myers-Briggs psychotest. Let's take a look at it. So, this table shows that whether you are an introvert, extrovert, sensing, intuition, this way or another way, there are types of tactics that you can take on to reduce your stress. So, for example, if you are an extrovert, interact but don't overextend yourself. So, let your personality be visualized and express, and don't do something that is against your own personality. Other tips from Franz, so this guy from Myers-Briggs psychotest. So you should detach or dissociate. Use detachment or dissociation. Check yourself out of the meeting and think about positive images. Obviously, these approaches are used selectively and discreetly, or are they? Zoning out from a meeting? Anyone? No? No. Everyone is always very patient and mindful during the meetings. Monitor what if thinking. In the middle of stressful events, it's natural to engage in what if thinking and what if we had done this something in the past, so maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. Well, maybe if you did, maybe you did, but it's not the point. The better thing is to say this: it's Friday 2:30, I've just received any bad news about work, what can I do right now? So past is gone, don't think about it, think about the present. This is how you will relieve yourself from stress. Other tips: know when enough is enough and stay away from debating. So if you are holding your position on some kind of an argument and you're repeating yourself on and on, you will not gain anything from it and you will not strengthen your position. You will make your enemy, or let's say the second person in the conversation, to entrench themselves on it. If you have something very important to say it once and then wait for them to digest that. Don't repeat it over and over, because it creates stress for both for you and for the other person. And look for a paradoxical component in the situation. Don't engage in a catastrophizing behavior. Say something funny so we will have a laugh about it, and this way we will relieve stress. Other tips: get in the zone. So Franz relates to Csikszentmihalyi's work and suggests getting to the zone state, which is described as follows. When we are in, let me read it in his voice. When we are involved in those, we lost track of the time and became less self-conscious. At the end of such activities, we generally feel refreshed and feel better about ourselves and our place in the world. Everyone has such an area of interest. It's a walk in the park, kayaking, photography, meditation, whatever. You have to find your own zone. So it's very individual. Key points so far: our focus reducing stress, we are trying to function on highest levels, and we should direct our activities toward making our work lives not stressful. So best stress reduction strategies: social support and communication. So make someone hold your hand and talk to someone who knows the answers. And best techniques: don't listen to what you're being what people are saying to you during the meetings. Don't think what if, think what now. Stay away from debating. Look for a paradoxical component in the situation, make a joke, and get in your zone. If you make the stress go away and get back fresh into the action. And this is it. Thanks for being patient, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.